I have heard literally only good things about this book. I've heard that it makes you cry, it makes you happy, it makes you emotional. I am expecting a very emotionally invigorating read, and I think I could finish it pretty quickly. Let me see how many pages it is. So about 400 pages, so I'm excited to get into this. I have only read one other Emily Henry book, which is Beach Read, and I really didn't like it. Like, so much so to the point where I haven't even bothered to like give any of her other books a try, which is like maybe my problem. Like, maybe I should give another one of her books a try. But comment down below your thoughts on Emily Henry's book, or her books. But yeah, I'm gonna get into this, but first I have about like not too many pages, like 100 pages left of my current read, which is The Sister-in-Law. I wanted to pick up like a quick little thriller before I got into Happy Place, just to like clear my head, and it's really good. It's really making me anxious, so yeah, I will check back in when I start the book, and I'm so excited. I'm on page 7. I meant to start this earlier, but now it's getting a little late. And I love the relationship between her and her friends. I think it's really sweet. I really like it, and I think her writing is really good so far. It's really gripping me, which is good. I'm really excited too to learn more about like their friendship and who they are, because it's really standing out to me. Like, a lot of romance books kind of can ignore friendship, and I feel like now it's kind of becoming more of a popular thing to include friends in books, because it's like obviously a like core part of people's lives, and I'm really excited to see where it goes with these characters. I'm literally on chapter 4. I don't know why I'm starting to tear up. I've been in my relationship for like, Griff, have we been together 6 years? Yeah. And it's like sad to watch the characters who've been together for 8 years. Me and Randy were talking about how like in books there doesn't feel like a lot of long-term relationship things in romance books. Like, I really appreciate the attention to detail so far with that. I don't know if it's the wine, I don't know if it's the book, but this shit is getting to me. It makes me so emotional. And like, okay, listen, this isn't a spoiler, but I'm just gonna say it anyway. There's like a reference to like the Marilyn Monroe thing where she like sung Happy Birthday to JFK, and like, I get the reference, like I get the implications of like seduction and everything, but literally the only thing I can think of is that scene in Breaking Bad where Skylar is singing it to Ted. And like every time I like see that reference or hear it, it just always takes me out of whatever I'm doing. It's just too good. That scene is awful. But yeah, I'm like almost, I guess, halfway through the book, and I really like it. It's really good. It feels like it's completely different, like, from Beach Read, and I'm really impressed. Okay, so it's the next day, and I literally cannot stop thinking about this book. I really love it. I spent the day, I'll just give you a little recap. I spent the day at ShopRite in the liquor store, and it's Memorial Day weekend, and I live in a beach town, so it's definitely gonna get a little crazy. So I got like stocked up for the weekend and stuff. And look at my shirt. It's also the first day of the Eras Tour MetLife, and I am beyond salty that I can't go. I'm like so mad. I'm trying so hard to not like be a bitch. Like, I'm trying so hard to be a good person and like stick to my morals, but it's just so hard because I want to go so bad. And I tried to get last minute tickets and it didn't work out, but whatever, that just means that I can read this book. So I'll check back in with you guys later. Oh my god. I need to relax. This whole time I was just like steadily crying. I cannot tell you the last time a book made me cry like this. Like, this was actually an accumulation of me crying for like 45 minutes. Oh my god, this book is so freaking good. I don't get it. That was so freaking good. Look at my face. I just think that, like, it was just written so well, and, like, all the stuff about friends just really got me. That was. I'm a sucker for books that are about, like, growing up and growing apart and stuff. Oh my god, it's just so good. I'm gonna have to gather myself and then come back to give my final thoughts. A very emotional journey. I am proud to say that Happy Place is definitely an entry for your book if I've ever seen one. This book was so good. I mean, you guys saw my reactions as I read it. It was so good. Like, the thing that I really liked about this book is the narrative structure. I really liked the way it was told. It was told between past and present, and like the present was the whole week and then the past was the whole 8 years of their relationship. It was just told so effortlessly and seamlessly blended together. It felt like what was going on in the current day during the course of that vacation was a ping pong off of what happened in the past. There were themes within each chunk that kind of layered each other and complemented each other, and it was really impressive to see how she wrote it so effortlessly, with the way that everything just seemed to flow together, and everything that happened in the past and in the present seemed complementary and relevant. Like, in the past, when she went back to talk about the breakup, there was something happening in the present that directly mirrored the consequence, and it brought up things that happened in their breakup. I like the way that she wrote it a lot, and I'm really glad that this did not flop for me like Beach Read did. And now for the characters, I absolutely loved them. Every single character was so good and so reflective of how friendships are actually in real life. I loved the dynamic between all of them. I loved how they were all so different, but also just the amount of love that was cocooned within their relationship with each other was amazing, and seriously reminded me of my own friendships, and that was the root of a lot of the emotion that I felt, was seeing these characters and seeing how it kind of mirrors my real life, which I'm very thankful to have my friends. And I've also lived and learned that, like, friendships change, friendships grow, and friendships grow apart. And that was a really big theme in this book, and it kind of was relevant to my life too. So it helped me find my zen a little bit more, and it really taught me some important lessons through these characters. I just loved the love that these characters had for each other. I loved Harriet, I loved Wynne. Also, beautiful names. Harriet and Wynne, amazing. Harriet's arc was just so good with her past and present, future, and everything, and the things that she's gone through that helped shape her personality and her flaws and her strengths. Just so good. And Wynne's flaws and his strengths were so good, and they complemented each other so well. These are two characters that were truly meant to be together. I could go into a list of themes. Like, they talk about, like, family, growing up, relationships, school, occupations. They talk about a lot. But the themes that really stood out to me were the theme of friendship and the theme of growth and change in the context of relationships in general, with your family, with your friends, with your lover, whatever. I think the general premise of change is something that was really important to this book. It just made me super emotional to see the growth that these characters had and the way their friendships changed, and the fights in it were really hard, and the fallouts and the subtle passive-aggressive jabs were really hard to read, but it's so, like, just indicative of how real life is. I really appreciated that. I also am a sucker for a good changing friendship book. One of my favorite books ever is That Was Then, This Is Now by S.E. Hin, and it's, like, probably not even 200 pages, but it is so good, and it's about two boys who grow apart because the one wants to grow up and the one kind of wants to stay in his youth a little bit. I would definitely suggest that book. I'll put it right here. But that book is really good. This type of book that really captures the essence of change with friendships is one that is kind of hard to come by, in my opinion, and it's one of my favorite. And I just think that Happy Place stands out because it did everything for me with that very specific trope of growth regarding friendships. And then on the other hand, the growth regarding the relationships it shows how being in a long-term relationship, things change. Things change constantly. Things can change literally overnight. In a very long-term relationship myself, I just saw a lot of the things in their relationship that would hurt me if we ever broke up. Like them having to pretend to be in love and have to touch and have to like kiss and have to make jokes and have to even just be in each other's presence. I can't imagine the type of pain that that is. And I know that that type of fake dating like could be funny or like ooh, they have to do this, like that's like sexy, but for me reading it, it was just like painful. And I think it was intentional, but that was like just so hard. I don't know. And then all the friends around, like them worrying that their whole friend group will blow up if they break up. It's just really shows how important, like they probably shouldn't have lied, Win and Harriet, but it just shows how important their friendship dynamic is to each other that they didn't tell them, and they tried to pull this off because they tried to make it perfect for the friends, but then it turned out it could never be perfect to begin with, so it had a full circle moment. It was great. And I think the standout moments of this book, again, I'm gonna say it one more time, the lessons with friendship. That's it. That's the big standout thing. So then would I recommend this book and to who? I would recommend this book so much. It's so good. There is some like sexual stuff and like drinking and drugs in it, but I would maybe recommend this to 17 onwards, maybe. I just think the lessons are so good. I think the way that Emily Henry has conveyed the fact that life changes and there's nothing you can do about it at all, it's just such an important lesson that I think all ages can learn from, so I would recommend it to literally everybody, but it is an adult book, so I guess you have to keep that in mind. I mean, even though I was reading, like, the most, like, foul shit when I was, like, 16, but, like, whatever. For the sake of the informational review, yeah, I really like it, and I think that so many people would benefit from reading this. It really gives you perspective and makes you think about your life and how you live it and what you can control and what you can't control, because I know we all have problems with holding on to shit and not letting shit go and overthinking, and you just gotta accept that shit happens, and it's harmful, it's painful, but it happens, and we will move on. Thank you guys so much for watching. If this was all over the place, again, I'm just now getting a handle on how to do reading vlogs, and I want to have like a structure to my reviews just because I don't want to just ramble on and on. So yeah, that is my Emily Henry Happy Place book vlog. Let me know if you have any other ideas of what you think I should do. Comment them down below, and I love you guys. Bye!